How's it going, guys? And welcome back to BL3's Forgotten, the series where I take a look at underused and not often talked about pieces of gear to determine whether or not they deserve to be remembered within the modern meta of the game or should be left behind and forgotten. And today we are taking a look at the Hive. If you'd like to farm the Hive for yourself, you're going to want to fast travel over to the Splinterlands on Pandora and make your way over to the save station, which is kind of central on the map, being directly outside of the area with the roller coaster. From there, you can either run or grab a vehicle and drive into the more open section where Princess Tarantella II will spawn. Kill her and you can get yourself a Hive. The Hive is a legendary Torgue rocket launcher able to roll in radiation or corrosive damage and costing 4 ammo per shot. The Hive fires a single slow-moving projectile, which on impact or after a set distance will stop and rise slowly into the air. During this time, it launches out homing elemental rockets in all directions from itself that deals splash damage of the Hive's element. After around 6 to 10 seconds, the initial projectile will explode and also deal splash damage. The Hive has received one buff, being a 133% weapon damage increase. Now look, I know this gun ain't as forgotten as a lot of the guns in this series, but it's my channel and I fucking love the Hive. So while this gun is definitely decently popular and known about, it will forever be underrated until every fucking BL3 player is using this goddamn thing. Because holy shit, the Hive is by far the best rocket launcher for mobbing. You just spam out a couple of these shots and the entire area around you is going to die, and you can just sit back and watch it happen. But there is one thing that I do believe can be considered a downside to the Hive, and I think it is what keeps a decent bit of people away from it, and that's that it costs 4 rocket ammo per shot, and this is a pretty hefty price. For reference, this is 1 ammo more than the Plague Bearer, which costs 3 and is kinda similar, spawning homing projectiles around itself. However, it doesn't spawn nearly as many as the fucking Hive does. So on paper, while the ammo efficiency does seem kinda shit, it's completely made up for with just the sheer amount of projectiles you get per shot. It's pretty fucking insane just for that alone. But on top of that, it's pretty difficult to not kill everything in an area before you run out of ammo, because not only is this a lot of projectiles, they all do very good damage. To the point where it was genuinely difficult to get enough footage for this video because of how quickly the Hive can just shred through an entire group of enemies. Oh, but that's not all, folks. There's more that makes the Hive strong, because this has some pretty unique interactions with some very specific things. Of course, there's the obvious one in Moe's and Flak, with the Hive spawning so many projectiles it will very easily proc Megavore and Short Fuse quite often. Along with that, of course, getting a lot of Means of Destruction and Leave No Trace procs, providing a decent bit of ammo sustain for those two. But you can also double the amount of projectiles that you get out of the Hive, because you can literally double that main projectile with bonus projectile builds. Of course, through things like playing Dirty Two-Fang or the Infernal Wish, you can get more than 1 projectile out of that first shot, meaning that across most characters you can get up to 2 projectiles per shot, meaning you double the amount of bees that you get. But with Zane and Flak, you can get up to 3 times the amount of bees, which is fucking stupid good. Now, the way that these bees actually get specific boosts is also very interesting, because it's based off the initial projectile. So what this means is any effects that specifically impact your projectiles will be spread across every single bee that summons out of the initial projectile. Notably, this means that it interacts very well with violent momentum, being that it only matters how fast Zane was moving when that initial projectile was fired, and all of the bees summoned out of it will get that violent momentum damage bonus even if he stops moving entirely. A Cloud of Lead shot from Moe's will apply that incendiary damage to every single bee that gets summoned, and if you amp that initial projectile, every single bee that spawns from it will be amped. I'm sure there's many other interactions out there like this, but these are just the big ones that I tend to use often. The only thing I noticed that this didn't work with was Flak's Fadeaway. And I mean, even while he's in Fadeaway, it seems like the bees just don't get the guaranteed fake crits, which is definitely a little bit of a shame. Now I know, it's been so long since the Hive buff, people know about the Hive, people use the Hive, it's pretty much to the point where anyone who wants to be using the Hive is going to be using the Hive, anyone who doesn't want to use the Hive isn't going to be using the Hive, and it's going to be very difficult for me to change anyone's minds on that. So I'm not going to try. Instead, that, all I'm going to do is suggest that if you aren't a fan of the Hive, I just need you to do one thing for me. Go get one. It doesn't need to be a good one. You don't have to have a good anointment on it. Just grab one and take it to the bridge section of Molly 1 Takedown. From there, all you have to do is shoot it up into the sky and watch everything explode around you. If you're still not a fan after that, all I can tell you is that people are entitled to their opinions. However, opinions are able to be factually incorrect, and this is 100% the best mobbing rocket launcher in the entire fucking game, and I refuse to hear otherwise. But that's about do it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, definitely consider leaving a like, comment, subscribe, all that. Down in the description will be a link to my Twitch channel where I'll be live right after this video goes up, and just below that is a link to my Discord server where you can come and join and hang out. But with that all being said, I hope to see you guys in the next one.